Hi, everybody. Russ from the West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well as you can be, having lost 1-0 today against Wolverhampton Wanderers away at Molineux. Matt, crap, wasn't it?
It was just. I think we spoke about it at the start, and we said about, we thought the first 15 minutes, it's not going to be one of them post international games where we just, and it was like a false dawn, wasn't it? Because we thought first 15 minutes, we're quite zippy, we're getting around, and then for about the next hour, it was just nothingness. There was lethargic, not much in the way of creativity. We struggled really through the thirds. Under pressure, we just kept pumping it long to Antonio without actually, and this was, this was like Big Sam. This wasn't a long pass. This was Big Sam, just long pumps. And it was nowhere near Antonio. The ball was coming straight back. It really was one of them games that was like a nothing game. Nothing really happened. I think there was two clear chances in the first half, not including the fact we had the ball in the back of the net. Well,
that's the thing. I mean, there was just nothing, was there? There was absolutely just nothing the whole game. I just thought, there was a few reasonably exciting, in reference to the rest of the game, a few bits which were okay. But as you said, it was just a bit of a mere game. I just thought
it was a typical post international break game.
Yes,
one of the very few in the Premier League. Everyone else had goals flying in left, right, and centre. We just let everyone else down. But it was just a mere game. The only real chance we had in the first half was a Bowen header.
Yeah,
they just put wide. Wolves could have had a penalty for a handball. Would have been harsh because Ben Johnson's arm was by his body, was behind him. We tried to block a cross. Mike Dean said no, VAR agreed. Jimenez dragged a one-on-one wide, which was the biggest chance of the first half, thanks to the absolutely awful cameraman at that game today. I'm not sure. I've got nothing against people's sexuality at all. Right? It's 21st century. You do you. But one of the cameramen had a very weird obsession with Bruno Lage. It just for no apparent. Like when you get the Olympics, you always get that guy that sort of kicks out like the Scandinavian ladies in the crowd. Yeah. He's like, oh. It's like that. But he just kept zooming on Lage, and he's looking at him. All of a sudden, another camera angle cuts back, and Jimenez is chipping the ball over Fabianski and just dragged it wide.
It was so unusual. I mean, that just shows you how crap the game was. That we're more interested about the director's choice of camera angles, but it really was the amount of times they kept on cutting to him, and then they cut back to the action, and there's like we're on the attack or something like that. You thought, bloody hell!
Yeah, it was just
ridiculous.
It was a very. I don't know who the cameraman was, or it was a very very weird one. It was weird. We had the ball in the back of the net before half time.
Yeah,
I won probably our best opportunity of the game, and unfortunately, Antonio decided that he'd take his Kevin Nolan job a bit too far and shove the keeper in the back. When the keeper wasn't going to get the keeper had made a movement to come for the ball, wasn't going to get there. Zuma Tao was in a header, but Antonio gave him a shoulder in the back. If he didn't do it, it probably was a goal. It probably would have gone in because the keeper wasn't going to get there. He sort of caught himself in no man's land. That was about the end of the first half. There was some point, I think Neves had a shot from 25 yards that Fabianski tipped over the bar. More of like one for the cameras because it was almost straight down the middle. That was the end of the first half, and you thought we started the first 15 minutes well. The last 5 was end to end. It sort of ended up like you said, like an FA Cup game. But the middle 25, we just got. I don't want to say we got our tactics wrong. I think you give respect to Wolves and say Wolves and Bruno Lage got their tactics right. He played the 3-4-3, or if you want to call it the 5-2-3. But they pushed the fullbacks very high up, and Benrahma and Bowen, whether they weren't sure or they were just caught in no man's land because they weren't tracking back most of the time with the wing backs. But then they weren't staying far enough forward to Antonio. Then when we were playing these hoofballs, anywhere near him. And for about a 25-minute spell in the first half, it was just Wolves were getting down the wing, putting the ball in. Zuma and Dawson or Souček or Rice was dealing with it. And it was being pumped out to Antonio. He was losing it. It was coming back again. And it was like a training game. But neither team had zip or energy in them, you know. And that was the half-time whistle came, and you were like, oh, you said it's a bit of a meh. It was just that's half-time. Nothing's really happened. I think we said at the time it was like 65% possession to Wolves. They'd had like 5 shots, we'd had 2 or something. It was a boring game. And even the second half, most of it was just a boring game.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where, it's good to have a reality check once in a while. You mentioned how many games we're playing in the next few weeks. So having that sort of ability, having those that bad game isn't a bad thing in retrospect. I know I was like at the beginning going, oh, we got to win. But, we've got City next weekend. I don't think you'll see a performance that get like that against City.
No, we won't. It was better to get it out of the way now than then. I mean, we only lost by 1 goal. So, yet again, we've kept up this record since January when we lost 3-1 to Liverpool. But since that game, we've never lost by more than 1 goal. So,
yeah,
we're never getting spanked in games. This today reminded me a bit like, I want to say maybe like when we lost to Burnley like 3-0 and Roberto was in goal. That sort of game where we did absolutely nothing. They didn't do much, but they were creating chances and we just let everything in. So
yeah,
defence did well for the 1-0, but in the second half, Prodence had a shot on the edge of the box. That was the warning, because that was the same sort of one where they got down the right hand side, cut it back, he hit it, and Fabianski turned it around the post. Probably not long after, maybe 5-10 minutes later, done the exact same thing. This time it's Prodence on the ball, cut it back to the edge of the box. And I've seen the goal. It looked like he hit it off his heel, but Prodence cut it back with pace, and Jimenez in the D swept it into the far corner. That was 1-0. They didn't threaten much after that. They flirted with some counter-attacks. Moyes made a couple of subs. He made a sub when the goal went in, which no one even saw, and Camarang mentioned he didn't up or anything. We were just watching the game, and all of a sudden, like, oh, Lanzini's on the pitch.
Lanzini's on, yeah.
That lasted about 10 minutes. Then he brought on Yarmolenko and Vlasic. Vlasic looked lively. He came on from Ben Rama. Ben Rama looked lively. They were probably the only 2 players attacking-wise that looked decent in the game for us today. But they both come on and we didn't actually have a shot. I don't remember us having a shot. Right?
Not a decent one.
But Bowen had one when Antonio played him in. He shanked it over the bar. That was just before he got subbed off. Antonio had one that was blocked. They just nullified us. They got their tactics right. They nullified us attacking. Then they sat deep. We couldn't break them down. Said though, we didn't get any second balls. We didn't get any break of the ball. Wolves done their homework. Put out a team that would counter us, and it was a very meh game. But they were clinical when they got their chance.
If anything, being critical, it's like we haven't got. We need that plan B. It might. It's not a bad thing, these games, in terms of highlighting what we need in January. Clearly, a Jesse Lingard-esque player could have made a difference there towards the end, when you need some bit of zip on, a bit of pace, something a bit different. So, let's just chalk this one off, mate, innit?
Yeah, it's one of them days. Everyone has them. It's just you just weren't going to be your day. I said that about 20 minutes to go. It was like the players knew it wasn't going to be our day.
Yeah. Well, as you said, it's a rub the green.
You take it back to the training ground. You look at it again. You work out where it went wrong. You put the corrections in, and you go again the next week. It
is, and it's things. It's not really anything to talk about in terms of highlights, really. You know what I mean? It's like it's just
3 or 4
a
chances.
really nothing game. I mean, they had with a couple of shots.
This comment though, today proved why we need another striker. Yeah, because like you said, from the start, they're used to playing against Traore, so they were quite happy against Antonio. It was only when we started playing through the lines and playing some nice football, we started getting at them. But even then, final ball wasn't there today.
No, and it's just one of those things where sometimes actually sitting here talking about it is going to make us even more depressed.
Do
you know what I mean? It is what it is.
As I said, look,
Steve,
10 minutes in, we've basically summed up what happened in the game. Not a lot.
Yeah.
Not a lot
exactly.
at all.
It has not much happened. If you saw it, it's not going to be one on first match of the day. That's for sure.
What they say, it's not going to live long in the memory.
No, and it means that we can, as Black Country Hammer says, put it to the back burner.
That's the best way to put it. It will be last on match of the day today.
Yeah, exactly.
It will be like
last on match of the day.
90-second highlight of the 4 chances that were in the game. That's about it.
Exactly. And of course, there'll be more like camera angles of Bruno Lager than anything else, in all honesty.
Yeah, so
who's very
that is a review.
Man.
That is it summed up, guys.
That pretty much is
a bad day at the
office. There's no point talking about it anymore. I think, as you said, we need to put it to the back burner, move on. We've got Rapid Vienna on Thursday. All about that. All about qualifying. All about qualifying, winning the group by getting a point, which I'm sure we'll do. This is a real good kick up the arse in terms of that game. And then we've obviously got Man City at the weekend. You're not going to see a performance like that against Man City. I guarantee it. So,
and at least if we're going to have a bad one, we got it done today and got it out of the way.
Yeah, exactly. We haven't had one.
Every now and then we had one. We had one at the start of the season. Then we went on a good run. Then we had that poor performance against Brentford. Then we went on a good run. So let's get the performance in at the start of December before the big run of games, and then get another good run of games going.
Yeah, it's true. I know. Well, I says, have a word with Stell, lads, because he constantly says we score enough goals and we don't need a striker. Well, I'm afraid he's wrong. I think we just need the things. We're never going to get a striker. We know we're never going to get a striker in the truest sense because it doesn't fit Moyes' tactics. But
Jesse Lingard, now we've got Mr. Newman. Let's see what he can bring up for us. Now we've actually got some sort of scouting network rather than just David Moyes and his son.
Yeah. It's same as a centre-back as well, isn't it? Same as a centre-back. We definitely need a centre-back, to replace Bonner or as a fourth centre-back. Rob Newman now has the ability of Rob Newman to be able to do that, to be tasked with doing that rather than having to do that on top of everything else he's trying to do. So, we still need a few players. Yeah, proves it on the bench. Totally agree. A bit of quality in that bench now.
Lingard could have helped today.
Yeah, he would have. He wouldn't have played 4 minutes, that's for sure, as like he did today.
Yeah.
But yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, there's not really much more to talk about this game. As I said, to be honest, Mark, all back to earth, lethargic, poor decisions, straight passes, slow to the ball, made Wolves look good, shocking. That's fair enough. I think fair enough. It wasn't a great day at the office. There wasn't really much to talk about. There's not really many highlights. Let's draw a line and move on. We'll probably talk about it a bit more on Monday's show, Monday's lunchtime show, and then we start getting ready for Vienna. We're not going to Vienna. No one's going to Vienna apart from Pablo Fornals.
Fornals is going to Vienna.
Of course he is. So, guys, thank you very, very much. It's a short and sharp and sweet, but that's just me and Matt. Short and sharp and sweet. Take care. There's not much else to say, is it? It really just there's nothing to say. It's a real nothing game. They've really screwed us over today. Stell Anton today. Nothing to talk about. But
you know what? At least we're not Stell. At least we didn't go to the game to watch that game.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what.
Make a 3-hour drive up to Wolves for that.
Oh, ridiculous! Wolves' first home clean sheet. Mental. Right, guys. Me and Matt go. Right. Guys, go and enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Go and watch.
Well, if you want to get cheered up, Wolves, Arsenal about to get absolutely spanked by Liverpool in a minute.
Go and watch Liverpool, Arsenal, get spanked. You could be worse. You could be a Man United fan, and you could be able to lose your manager. That'd be fun. Every cloud, Matt. Every cloud.
At least we've got David Moyes, not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Exactly. Thank God for that. Very short one, but there's nothing to talk about. Let's move on. We'll be back on Monday and all that type of stuff, ready for Vienna and then Man City. All right, guys? So take care, everyone. Stay safe. Subscribe. That'll cheer us up. If we hit 10,000 subscribers, we could do with that. That'll do. Yeah. So if another like 500 of you want to subscribe, it'd be lovely today. That'll cheer us right up.
We won't do it before the new year. We've got about 6 weeks left.
Oh, definitely. We're definitely going to do it by the end of the year. No problem with that. Like the video, subscribe, comment, all that type of stuff. Short, sharp, sweet, but it was shit. So anyway, we're going to move on. Take care. Stay safe. Me and from Stato, much love. Come on, you irons, and we'll see you again soon. We move on. That's it. Underneath, line, drawn, stop, move on. Much love. See you later, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.